welcome to my tractor channel. And you see the old Fergie. Have a quick close up of the old badge. There it is, the old Fergie. Yeah, right. Today I'm going to be basically this is a restored tractor. Let me show you around. This is the restored tractor which I've done, and you'll see in my last video the startup of it. Now I've restored it, and it is looking pretty well. It looks okay. You know, it's tidied it up, and all I've done on it really is give it a good wash down, and also I've basically done 2 coats of primer. Well, but I've washed it down, cleaned it, got it, prepped it up, got 2 coats of primer, and also I've done a top coat, 2 top coats of Vapormatic Gloss, the Vapormatic, the grey Fergie paint, which is somewhere over here. I'll show you. Yeah, basically some of that stuff. Now this paint, which you can see by the number, is, I think it goes really well. Even if you brush it on or spray it on, which, well, I sprayed this on, but if you press one brush, you can hardly notice the difference between the two. So it's a really good paint. As you can see, so basically, I've as you see with the engine, I've cleaned it, and then I've cleaned all these distributor leads up, all the points, condenser I've cleaned, you know, not the condenser, the coil. I've cleaned just a wire brush on a wheel. Cleaned it up. I've did a few repairs on the tank. It's a pretty old tank and it had a few holes in it, so I've just put a bit of JB weld on some of the holes in there. But then there's probably, I must have covered nearly 50, 60 holes, I'd say. And we've had stuff like the toolbox sprayed. I've cleaned the starter motor. Had a starter motor problem, so I've had to take all that apart and clean the starter motor. I'm now in the process of fitting this temperature gauge. So I fitted the temperature gauge, but I screwed it in the other day, but it started to leak, and if you see, there's no seal whatsoever around that. And if it isn't a tight fit, which it probably isn't that good, it leaks. So what I shall do in a bit, I shall get some gasket sealant stuff and put some gasket sealant on there and do it up like that, because basically when it's pushed together like so, if you can see, you know, it's got to be something there to absorb it, a bit of like gasket or whatever to or a seal of some sort, just to put that seal between the two metal, because water leaks anywhere, doesn't it? And I'll show you, I've put a new steering wheel on it, brand new steering wheel, also a couple of nuts. I've also done the ID plate as well. I've cleaned up the original oil gauge. That's a brand new, pretty much an Indian aftermarket temperature gauge. So I'll try that. That's the original ignition light. Put a new seal on here, as you can see. I've just took the bonnet off at the moment, but I will put it back on. The wings have been cleaned up, just basically sprayed over. And I had a couple of rust patches. Instead of getting new wings, I've just got some of this checker plate. Put some nice bit of checker plate on it, as you can see each side. And a new pin there, that's all been done. That was all seized. Still have a bit of a bend on that, but that might have to be straightened another day. And put a new cap on here. It didn't have a cap on there originally, a PTO cover. Check chains. They're newish check chains of another tractor I had, and this all works freely, or did do, yeah, it works nice and freely. And the most trouble I had was probably with the wheels. The nut, this side was fine, but this side I had problems, as you can see I was put on this video. I had to cut a couple of these off, and then I had to put these bolts back on. Now these studs are pretty hard. Instead of taking the whole half shaft off, I put there's enough gap, took the brakes off, put new brake lines on, put the bolts through there, and I got a nut on there, big wash on there, and I did draw the nut, drawed it through, and it drawed itself through. Instead of taking a whole lot off, and you'd have to put a new seal on here maybe, because you've had to take the whole half shaft off. And so basically that is done. So eventually the back wheels will have to be done. As you can see, the back wheels are as they were original. They need to be sprayed and put on, but I may be putting them on because getting close to the winter now, and so I have to just put them on for now. And that is it. Obviously a new exhaust, and yeah, it's come up quite well actually. Just to tidy it up, I've had to put. Oh yeah, come this side. I've had to put a new domino on there. Brand new domino, new belt as well, which I've had to. I pressed. I took the side because this is an old 6-volt tractor, and somebody's put. When I got these two basically. I got bought 2 tractors out of someone's hedge in the garden, dragged out. This one had been restored. Well, the engine had been redone, but it was looking a bit of a sorry state. So I basically got it running, and the other one is seized, which you'll see in a bit. And then you'll see lots of videos on that one, so stay tuned. Also, please don't forget to subscribe and hit the like button, because that will help the growth of my channel. And so new domino, it works fine now. All the wiring's been done. I've had to made my own harness up and put all this plastic covering. It's like a plastic covering, a bit like string. It heats up and fits on the. All that's been done. The carburetor has been cleaned, and the jets inside have been cleaned, and also I've also sprayed a bit of lacquer over it to hopefully keep it a bit shiny. And this had lacquer on it, and basically it's looking quite good now. I think there's always something to do on it, as you can see. So what I shall do now, I'm going to take the bonnet off, and I'm going to show you the temperature gauge. What I'm going to do. Okay. Let's take that bonnet off then. Right, so basically, there's your, well, I've got some gloves on now. I've got ladies' gloves on, sorry about that. But I've got to keep my hands clean, you know how it is. Try to. Where to get moaned at. Right, basically, that's that. So let's get some, I've got some, well, you see I've used that already. Got some Loctite gaskets here, MR5992. If anybody's interested. Just gasket, it's just bloody gasket stuff, isn't it? And what I do, I'm just going to put a little drop, you can see that, and put a little drop around there. I think it'll hurt once it's only just to seal it. A bit of a drop around there, and then put a little bit round there as that. Get a right old mess. And then you just got to put it in, basically do it up, and let it go off then, like so. There you go. So that's made a nice old mess of that. And then, what I do then, some of that out of the way, right. Everywhere this stuff then. Okay. There you go. Right. What I do then, I'm going to get some copper grease as well. Good old copper grease, because that, if you want to do something up, you're going to get undone in the future, put some copper grease on it, otherwise it won't come undone. There you go, copper greased up, put it in the hole, and just basically, I'll put a bit of light on so you can help that. Does that help? There you go. You get the thread to bite, it's a bit tricky. Let's have a proper look at this. Oh, he's nothing, is he? Yeah, right, the thread's bitten, thank God. Cross thread it, either. Because these found housings, I think I bought this one from Agripart on eBay for £38 delivered with the gaskets and the bulb, so it's pretty fun. That's a good deal, that is. Very, very good deal. Right, so there you go. That's now then. I've worked this one out, checked it before, get the right spanner, and it's a 16mm. So it's a tricky place to get done, but you just got to do a few flats at a time until it's tight. That's going really well, actually. And this tractor didn't originally have a temperature gauge on it, but I like to put one on because I just like to keep an eye on these sort of things. There's drivers and there's drivers. I want to make sure that's murder tight, otherwise it's going to leak. Like any plumbing work, you don't do it tight, it will probably leak when you don't want it to leak. Another flat, and then another flat on it. That's nearly there. You've got to make sure that spanner is the right size. If you don't, it's probably not a 16. Probably somebody will tell me it's something else, 11/16 or something stupid. But 16 fits fine, but it is aftermarket part, so bear that in mind. Alright, that's nice and tight. I'm going to leave that now and let that set. Thanks for watching again. And well, shall I show you another project I'm doing? Yeah, preview, sneak preview, okay? There she is. That is, as you can see, in a right state. Now, I've done a little bit of work previous just to make sure it's worth doing. Yeah, she's got no wings. Wings are rusted out. The wheels are there. It's all good. It's all solid. It just needs cleaning up. And I've taken the head off, as you can see. There's the manifold, the head, and here she is. Yeah, she needs some work done. I'll leave that for another video. So thanks for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe, as they all say that, and I shall see you on the next one. Bye for now.